talk to my class, I have one question for everybody in the room. Why is it that at class reunions, you feel younger than everybody else looks? On the other hand, I don't know about my classmates, but I have come to the point where a happy hour is a nap. But people, think about this. 50 years from now, this room is going to be filled with old ladies with tattoos. So where were we? What was it we were doing before we all took a break for 50 years to have lives? I remember. We were rooting for the Iron Man football team to win the SEOAL 2 years in a row. Speaking personally, I can tell you it was a thrill to be out there competing on that field every Friday night. Just me and my trombone. Folks, we were the very first generation in American history to have an extended adolescence. Through post-war optimism, through post-war growth, we invented the American idea of what high school really is. We're the only people in history to have lived our entire high school lives and our entire college lives in the 1950s. There has never been a better time before or since to be in school. It was a golden era. I went off to Ohio U over in Athens. On my very first day of college, my very first class was English literature. Professor Edgar Wan was calling roll. He came to my name and stopped and pulled down his glasses. In those days, he was the one who wore glasses like this. And he said, "Longfellow, are you related to the poet?" Well, I didn't know yet whether I was or not, but I'm not going to disappoint him. I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Pity he wasn't a better poet." That's true. That's absolutely true. And he slid his glasses back up and went on calling roll. And it's been all downhill ever since. But it hasn't been all downhill. My life has been a series of ups and downs, just like every other life in this room. Just like every other life in these front rows down here. I've heard it said that after 50, you get the face you deserve. After 60, you've got the life you deserve. Maybe the one you wanted, but definitely the one you chose. Life at our age is the result of choices we made, each one following from all the ones before it. Now, if you're really lucky, or you're really good, you look back at a lifetime of choices and you make them all the same way. If you're not so lucky, or if you just weren't paying attention, there's some clunkers of decisions in your life that make you wish your life were on videotape. So you could hit instant replay and then erase. Catch this. Those decisions are often the ones you learn from the most. Think about your own life. Think back on what that first huge decision was, good or bad, for better or for worse, that shaped your life, that led you through life, that made you who you are, and brings you back here today, to us. We are the only people who knew you when you weren't a father or a mother. We are the people who knew you when you didn't have a profession or a career. We knew you when you were still young and vibrant and healthy as a horse. But people in these front rows are absolutely irreplaceable in the lives of one another. Why, there's not another Dallas Warner anywhere else in my life. We know each other in a way that nobody else in the world knows us, because we knew each other when we weren't whatever we worked so hard to become. Don Wilson is here. Don Wilson was my very first boyhood buddy. Our lives since boyhood could not have been more different, but that never got in our way, and we never talked about it for a minute, because it's a lifelong friendship based on mutual respect. I never miss a chance to go out to Don and Anna Mary's house when I'm home, and I hang out in his garage, and I talk with his customers as they drop by. They drop by even though they know that their motor isn't ready yet, because dropping by and just hanging out with Don and Anna Mary is just such a good thing to do. It's good to just be there and talk while Don gets his hands even greasier and goes right on smoking those cigarettes he knows he shouldn't. Now, I shouldn't say this right in front of him, but I love those garage visits. Last time I was in town, the garage topic of the day was how to make moonshine. I learned a lot. I wrote an article a few years ago about growing up in Jackson in the 50s. One of the things I said was there were 2 blacks, 1 Jew, and Jews outnumbered Democrats. That was before Tim Call grew up. I want to tell you a story about one of our classmates who for sure grew up. When we were kids, Tucker Benton and that neighbor boy of his across the street harassed me for years. Then in the 70s and 80s, I started to get calls from Tucker every once in a while. In the 90s, Tucker got sick. He was living in San Francisco. I was visiting on the other end of the Golden Gate Bridge. We called Jim Cavish. And Cavish flew up, and the 3 of us had dinner. And about an hour into it, Tucker reached over and took my hand. Big tears rolling down his cheeks. He apologized. Tucker's not here, but Tucker goes everywhere with me as an example of what real maturity looks like. Tucker Benton grew up, no matter how old he didn't get to grow. But we are adults, and we are aging. Those of us who have aging parents know that we ain't seen nothing yet. Aging happens, and it doesn't matter how hard you worked, or how fit you are, or how loved you are. By 50, you get the face you deserve. By 60s, by your 60s, you get the life you deserve. And you become more and more like yourself with every passing decade. Aging does not change you. Aging distills you. Aging distills you to your essence, which means growing old is like making moonshine. Our sun has shone brightly, people. Our sun has shone brightly in the class of 55 and in the years since. Now go make your moonshine. Make your moonshine, people.